Hello, and thanks for joining me on Life and Surround. Today it is my immense pleasure to share with you Toto IV in 5.1. So a big reason that I am so delighted to share this album with you is that I possess it because of friendship. And there's a cool story here. A viewer of Life and Surround and somebody who has become a personal friend over the last several months wanted to get this album in my hands so that it could be enjoyed and so it could be reviewed, I'm sure. We've exchanged letters, emails, phone calls, and some gifts. And one day when I arrived home, there was a package, and inside was Toto IV, an SACD. I was shocked because, as I've covered in a previous video, Toto IV is out of print and rare, and super expensive. Well, I put the album on, and much to my chagrin, I realized that it was the stereo-only version of the SACD. And I wanted to underscore that because that is a danger sometimes of trying to find some surround titles. There can be stereo-only counterparts. I enjoyed the SACD stereo layer for all it was worth. And I thought, because this friend went through all that trouble to make sure that I got Toto IV, what I'm going to do is shop around and see if I can find it and honor his wishes. Searching through Amazon, Discogs, and eBay, I wasn't really finding great prices, except for one version that the seller claimed had a bad scratch. Checking over on eBay, I saw that it was possible to get this album for around $84 plus shipping. Looking over on Amazon, I saw a copy for $92, which after shipping and tax would be well over $100. But I noticed it was from a seller that I've had good experiences with. So I contacted them. I explained to them that I was trying to track down the multi-channel version of the album to honor a friend, that there was a cheaper but risky version on Discogs, and that the album had sold for a bit less on eBay recently. And I negotiated a lower price. So I mention that just to illustrate a point about shopping. You can contact sellers on eBay, on Discogs, on Amazon even. Ask them how long an item has been sitting in their inventory. Maybe they just haven't updated their prices in a while. Ask them if they would like to move the item. And it doesn't hurt to get to know them, establish a rapport, tell them that you appreciate them, and they may be willing to work with you. So I got the price down to about double what the stereo SACD can go for. And I figured I would go halves on the album with my buddy. I also wanted him to know that he sent the stereo-only version so that he had a chance to contact his seller and possibly negotiate a return or a refund in case the listing was ambiguous or mentioned multi-channel. He was in fact able to get a refund, and I thought that perhaps he'd be willing just to reimburse me for half the cost of the multi-channel version, but he insisted on covering the whole cost. So this was a gift. It is highly cherished. I have listened to it quite a few times, and it's precious and it's dear to me, and it's also an album that is growing on me. I've been on record in the past saying that I really only like one song on this album, which would be Africa. But since then, not only has Rosanna grown on me, but quite a few other tracks from the album as well, particularly Lovers in the Night. There are lots of hooks on this album, and I think a big reason why this album constitutes such a desert island disc and such a gem for many collectors is we have that all too rare instance where a #1 album, Africa was a #1 hit, Rosanna a #2 hit, and the best-selling, most popular album from a mainstream act meets one of the best mixing engineers in the industry, Elliot Scheiner, who I like to call the godfather of surround, gets an amazing mix with awesome fidelity. This is just a total winner. The mixing style is pretty typical for Elliot Scheiner, which is a good thing. You have the main band elements up front and supportive elements in the back. The surrounds can and often feature percussion, additional vocals, additional keyboards, and guitars. They can also be used to expand main parts out into the room a bit and make the album sound very big. Although, I have heard this album quite a few times in stereo, and the surround version honors the original stereo pretty well. So this is a cool album. It has a great mix, great fidelity. The only problem is it's out of print and expensive. I had to really search around and employ some bargaining skills to even get my total cost down to around $84, which is just insane. It is by far well beyond my comfort range for a single title. Now, Toto has included a reissue of Toto IV in their all-in deluxe box, but that's going for crazy prices right now if you can even find it. It was released in 2018 for retail of around $500, and the only version that I see right now is around $850. Which brings me to my question of why labels don't reissue popular Super Audio CDs, DVD audios, Blu-rays, when they sell out. I mean, if they're going for crazy prices online, there is money in people's pockets that could go toward the label, or at least a reissue label. I'd love to see Sony put this thing out as one of their exotic 7-inch SACDs. I'm not sure that Dutton Vocalion can get their hands on it, but that would be great too. In the meantime, maybe you can search around, find a copy at a local shop, find a copy that's at auction. Sometimes you can get lucky with auctions if there aren't a lot of people online that week. Or contact some online sellers and just bargain with them. And many out there already have the title and already know just how excellent it really is. So that's all for now. I just wanted to share this special experience for me of how this channel is producing friendships, producing some fellowship, and this is a super special experience for me. It will get many, 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 many listens, and it's just a very cherished item and experience, both because of the friendship and because of the musical experience. The album grows on me more and more every time I hear it. It really is a tremendous artistic work. Even though it was very produced and popular, that doesn't mean that a work can't also be very meaningful. So this is Toto IV. It's available on Super Audio CD. There's a single layer version that requires an SACD player. There's a hybrid version like this one that can play in a CD player or in a Super Audio CD player. And again, it's on Blu-ray in the all-in deluxe. And if you look around in the right places, I'm sure that there are purely digital versions available. And it is well worth seeking out, even if you only like a couple of songs, like I did once upon a time. But I have a feeling that the album will grow on you if you sit and give it a chance. So Toto IV 5.1, a huge thumbs up from Life in Surround. And speaking of thumbs up, don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe, ring the notification bell if you haven't already. Leave your comments below. I appreciate all of the channel activity, and I appreciate your support. And until next time, live life in surround.